I awoke that Friday and surveyed the preteen queendom that was my bedroom. Mother had asked me that summer if I wanted to repaint my room. I told her I wanted to cover one wall in aluminum foil. After the heavy-duty Reynolds wrap was installed with a stapler, it was hard to sleep after sunup. I made my way into the kitchen, and there she was, Neva Sue Holmes Morgan. My mother was pouring herself another cup of coffee and lighting a pale male. Even at 6:30, she was dressed and ready for the day. At 5'9", she was made even taller with her teased Miss Clairol dark, warm brown hair. Her voice boomed, and she gave me a big hug and a hot cup of Folgers. Well, honey, it's Friday. You have anything going at school? School. My mind retraced the week. English, math, social studies, science. I felt my heart race. I had a science project due. Today. In science. No, not really, Mother. I don't know, really. I went into my room and stared at my Donny Osmond poster. Donny, what was I going to do? I dug the assignment out of my satchel. It had to do with an experiment. It was a hypotenuse or hypothesis, and, well, I needed to prove something about something. Well, I put my Keds on and went out in the backyard. I looked at assorted bottles on the carport shelves. I saw an empty bucket, and I heard the fateful ribbit. My 12-year-old non-scientific mind had formulated a science experiment. I would bleach a green frog white. I won't go into the horrific details. But essentially this. I filled a pail with Clorox bleach, and I plopped an innocent, medium-sized garden frog into the pail. My screams and wails brought my mother running out of the back door, matching my screams with her booming voice. Jane! What in the world is going on? She looked in the pail. Oh my God, Jane! What have you done to that poor frog? I tried to explain. I showed her my assignment, my notebook paper with my hypothesis clearly spelled out. It just seemed so scientific. You have murdered a frog. I was devastated. Mother stood back and put her open-faced palms on her hips. She sighed deeply. Well, you're going to have a funeral. She bent down and slowly poured the pail of Clorox out onto the ground. You go get some paper towels and that empty Pale Mail carton out of the trash. Now go on. I retrieved the items and gently wrapped the dead, slightly still twitching frog in half the roll of paper towels. I ever so softly slid him down into the cigarette carton. Mother handed me a shovel and I got to digging. When the hole was dug, Mother was sitting in a lawn chair next to the dirt mound that I was patting with the shovel. She nodded to me and bowed her head. I looked up to the heavens. Dear Lord, I am so very sorry that I killed that frog. He was one of your animals. I'm sorry about not knowing science. And I'm real sorry about forgetting that science project. My mother interjected, and what have you learned? And now, Lord, I know that Clorox is just for clothes. Amen. I started to cry, and Mother gave me a big hug, and we walked to the back porch. She held the door for me and touched the top of my head. We're all God's creatures, Jane. Every single breathing thing. And if God had wanted those frogs white, he'd have done it himself. In the 40 years since that happened, I've rescued countless dogs, cats, ducks, birds, even a garden pot full of baby mice. I even capture and release spiders that find their way inside. But God and my mother made sure that I never went near a green frog again.